All right guys, here we have a 2011 EZGO TXT. This one is a crank, no start. Step on the pedal. And it just rolls over. And it sounds like we have a weak battery. Okay. I thought it was just drizzling, but apparently we had some freezing rain because this thing is just covered in ice. Yeah, let's see here. Look at that. Frosty windows, and that is pretty thick. Wow. So we're going to diagnose this one. I'm probably going to put the battery on charge for a couple hours just to bring it up so we can load test it, and then we'll pull the carburetor on this one and get it running. You know what I think is a shame? I can't find this battery charger anymore. Every battery charger that I find out there now has a digital control panel, and I think that's stupid. I want to be able to turn a knob and get physical feedback from a switch, not press a little tiny button. By the way, these alligator clips I got for this are rated at 800 amps. They're way overkill for this charger, but they're completely insulated. And they have replaceable ring terminals, which is nice. Okay, let's set this up. This says 12.3 volts, but we're gonna let this charge for about an hour, just to top it off. We'll come back when that's done. All right, so it's been a little over an hour. Let's see how we're. All right, that sounds better. So now we can take the charger off. Turn that off, disconnect it. If you're interested in replacing your battery charger, battery clamps, links to these are going to be down in the video's description down below. I'm still trying to figure out a way to incorporate different viewing angles. And what I mean by figuring it out is I'm just trying to figure out how I want to actually do it. I know how to do it, I just don't know how I want to do it. Okay, so now what we're going to do is pull off that carburetor. All right, so just like the last one, let's get this air filter off. Because I really like how much room that gave me. And it's only two little bolts here and a washer. Just a matter of lifting it out of the way. Okay, there's that. We'll inspect that in a minute. Now we'll take the PCV hose off. And this is just to make things easier. You don't really have to take it off. It just gives better access, in my opinion. But like I said, you don't have to do this. All right, so we'll take the fuel line off. I see water in the gas filter. And then what I'll do is I'll grab the fuel line and just flex it. There we go. That helps to separate the rubber from the fuel line nipple on the carburetor. Sometimes you just gotta use a little brute force, a little bit of wiggling. Okay, so there is pressure there. Oh yeah, that is certainly water. Can you see that? See, now I have oil mixed in there, but you can see how the oil is all separating the water. I wonder how much of this fuel tank is water. It's hard to say. They sell a chemical that you put on the end of a dipstick, like say a piece of a wood, and you shove the piece of wood down into the fuel tank. and that gives you an idea of if there's any water in the tank. Gas stations do that. It's called dipping the tank. Again, here's that stupid choke cable. Could have completely re-engineered that to be on the other side here. See, it would have been better if this choke cable came out of the cart and curved gently this way and pulled it this way, in my opinion. The cable would have been much shorter. Typically, washing the cart helps these come off a lot easier. I don't have my pressure washer here at the moment. It's still over at the storage building. We're going to be in the process of washing carts from storage. Store your cart with me, it gets washed before it comes back. I think these threads are just dirty. Okay, gasket's good. Turn the gas or cart off. Gotta remember to do that, folks. I keep forgetting. Look at this. Clip's off already. Looks like somebody else might have been in here. Alright, carburetor is coming off the cart. Oh my goodness, and there's rust inside of it. I didn't even get it off the cart yet. There's rusty water inside there. See the little bubbles? That's condensation on the butterfly valve. See the orange? That's rust. I am really curious to see what this is going to look like internally. I bet you she's full of water, and it feels frozen. It feels frozen. All right, let's take it over to the bench and take it apart. Okay, so here we are over at the bench. Yes, I got the bench cleaned off. It took a little while, but it's cleaned off. First thing we're going to do is just kind of like clean this bowl off a little. Just going to hit it with some carb cleaner. We're going to put it in the ultrasonic cleaner. I got some new fluid I'm trying out. I just don't want to get all this crud. Try to get as much off. This is just a plastic brush. There's no, it's not abrasive or anything or aggressive. Just want to try to keep the contaminations as minimal as possible so I can see what's actually inside. Okay. Look at it. That's what's running out. That's water. Water pools up on plywood, not gas. Gas will soak right in immediately. Okay, so now I'm just gonna okay. Forgot a little container here. Very well ill-prepared. Okay, so now I got this thing. Well, there's nothing in it now because it all spilled out already, but the bowl itself looks fairly clean. But it's water, it's not gas. If only they ran on water. Okay, so to get the I'm going to take this out. There we go. Take this off. I don't need that anymore. I'm just going to throw everything in the bowl. Throw that in there. So we're going to take the idle screw and spring out. Idle stop, screw and spring. It basically goes all the way in, so it's not really hard to adjust. At least that's where it was when I took it out. Oh, look at that. It's actually coming out easily. Oop. Come on. Okay. So before we run carburetor cleaner through it, we will put it in the parts washer, or the ultrasonic cleaner, and we'll clean it first, and then we'll go ahead and put it through the carburetor cleaning regimen. The plastic parts I'm not putting in the parts cleaner here, or the ultrasonic cleaner, because I don't know how well it will hold up. And yes, in the process of cheapening up the engine stuff, they went with a rubber-tipped plastic float valve. Carburetor cleaner, water, you know what I noticed with these, water will swell that rubber and the valve will stay shut and it won't open up until it dries out. So if you have that problem where you're cleaning these carburetors and you take this valve out, and if you notice water in the fuel, leave this valve out to air dry so that rubber will shrink. Because I'm noticing that if it gets wet with water, or even right after you clean it with carburetor cleaner, try to avoid carb cleaner on that if you can. It does swell. Let's see if we can get this cover off here. I don't think we're going to be able to. No. It's always the one part on here that I have to bypass, because way to go, Kawasaki. All right, let's throw it in the ultrasonic cleaner. A couple of little goobers here it missed, so I'll just kind of brush it down with the brush. It turned out pretty good, I think. Nice and clean. Just gonna, except for this part, this is like parts washer territory, which I'm probably gonna do anyway. I got this new parts washer cleaning solution. I mean, ultrasonic parts washer cleaning solution I'm trying. So we'll see. It's got these little plastic brushes too, so this will probably help to clean these up. I just want to loosen some of the dirt up before I go over to the big parts washer. A little bit of mud on this thing. Much better. It's not perfect. The aluminum's got a little bit of corrosion on it, but it's not bad. We care about what the inside functions like, not what the outside looks like. I took the rubber out, the O-ring that's in there, I took that out of there. Okay. So it won't swell, the one that's inside here, for the bowl. I took that out so it doesn't swell up. The biggest reason to clean the inside and outside is to keep the contaminations on the outside from going back to the inside, the parts that you just got done cleaning. Okay. This stuff here I don't really want to put inside the ultrasonic cleaner, so I'll just spray them down on the paper towel. Wet them. Now this bit here will spring. I'm just gonna hold it with the pliers because I can't hold it and wipe it down. I gotta hold it fairly tight so it don't go pinging all over the place. Don't want to lose any bits. Okay, there we go. So it doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, this is a cosmetic thing I'm doing. I'm just trying to wipe it off to make it look good. And then we have this jet here, which I can't hold because it's too tiny. Should wear safety glasses when you're doing this. This is dried out now. Very nice. All right, so now I'm going to wipe off the plastic float. With a little bit of carb cleaner on here. We're not going to wash the valve. We're just going to wipe it off. But the float we can wipe down here just to get the crap off of it. Because that stupid ass little rubber tip will swell. It's all flippin' plastic. And the bad thing is you can't even rinse this off after you put it back together because that float valve will swell up and the carburetor won't open. All right, so we got that on. I'm just going to wipe off this O-ring gently. And then use a flathead screwdriver. Make sure it's in the slot, which we're good. It's nice having this workbench cleaned off. Just stuff accumulates. And then I don't have anywhere to put any of it, so then it just stays there. And then it gets overwhelming, and then I don't do anything with it, and then it just gets worse. Okay. Hopefully you guys can see everything. Now I just got to put this jet back. I'm going to actually remove the driver. That's all right. We got a bunch of carburetor cleanings coming up on the channel, guys. There is a lot of them. And then we'll put the cap on. Maybe we'll get it on. I had the washer and the spring order incorrect, so I'm just fixing that. I make mistakes too. I'm human. Being an adult enough to admit them is the biggest part. Comes the heat. Okay, that's on. All right. So that carburetor has been removed, disassembled, cleaned, reassembled, and dried out. And now we're going to just install it back on the cart. Oh, look at that. It's snowing. So glad it's April. Okay, let's install our gasket, our carburetor. Well, there's my first oops. I put the drain valve on the wrong side. I should have listened to my instinct and kept it on the fuel side. But alas, I did not. I should have just stuck with my tried and true. That in. Snap that in. We're not going to put the fuel line on yet because we need to Still go through and get the choke plate back on. The breather neck on. Make sure the choke works like it's supposed to. Get these nuts started. They're a little too tight to hand tighten, so I got to use the ratchet for some reason. I think there's just a bunch of crud in the threads. Okay. Don't go too tight because you will crack that cheap plastic. I'm going to leave the PCV tube off as well. Now we're going to flush the fuel system out. New fuel filter. Oh, these are these stupid fuel filters that have the barbs on them that you can never get removed. Wow. Just for that, we're going to put that on there. That's why I like to use the smooth shank fuel filters, because these ones here with the barbs on them are just so difficult to remove. See how these have the little barbs on the ends? They end up breaking many times. I got my fuel pump. You guys have seen me use this fuel pump in the past. We're going to pump, actually we're going to pump down the fuel pump and fuel line first. So I'm going to go negative, positive. And basically what this is going to do is just going to drain the fuel pump and the fuel lines and get all the crappy gas out. Give it a chance to dry out while we're doing this. There we go. And now I'll hook up to the fuel tank. It's a bit... Oh my goodness, there is water in there like crazy. I don't know if you can see the... Look at it. There's not a lot of gas in here. I'm thinking I might just pump this down. I think we might actually have gotten all the... It's hard to say. Let me see. I think we might have gotten the water. Hook this up before I put the... I got to put a clamp on this. Looks like we're missing a clamp. Let's crank this engine over and get this fuel system primed. Let's dump this in the container here. It's really difficult to get rid of wet gas. Okay. Okay, since we know this is empty, we can do this. Key on. Fuel filter's full. Pump's primed. Okay, it's gas. It's all gas now because I can see the way it's... Okay, that's some good news, right? Looks like we're moving a little bit forward here. See if this cart should fire right up. And there's no debris coming out of the fuel line, so we know the fuel line's still good. Let's get that fuel clamp down there. Okay, let's see if it'll start. Gonna see if it'll start on its own. Wow, look at that. That's great. Fired right up. Okay, so that's good. We don't have to siphon the entire tank dry, which is great for the customer. The fuel that's in there is good. Okay, so now we can put everything back together and then give it a full run. I don't want to run it with all the filter stuff off because of the dirt inside here. Everything being all dirty, I don't want to get that stuff sucked back in there and cause more issues. Air filter back on, and then we'll check the state of the filter itself after we install it. Instead of fumbling with it while it's off the cart, we'll just do it when we put it back on the cart. I got the air filter hose back on. We're going to just tighten the clamp up, and then we're going to run this up. Yes, I know I have to still put the clamp on the fuel filter, or fuel line rather, which we will do right now, which I should have done, but I missed it. See, I told you, human. See how okay, it runs, and they also have the governor cranked to the max. I'm not touching it, because if I do, I'm slowing it down. I'm going to check this oil while I'm here. Looks okay, I guess. I don't know when the last time it was done. I'll ask the customer if they want me to do it while I have it. And it's right in the hash marks. That's good. It's in the middle, so it's technically still okay. But if not, this cart's done. But it's done for this video. So, all right guys, that is it for this video. As you can see, we got this cart running. It's running good, it's strong, it's actually a little bit oversped. Customer doesn't want me to touch it, so I'm not going to. I don't do things people don't want me to do, but I do them. I do what they want, but not what they don't want. So, all right guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comment section below. Be sure to check the video's description to links to products I use every single day to bring you these videos and to run my business. Be sure to check out my website and social media pages for more information. Be sure to like the video if you liked it and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And until next time, we'll see you in the next video.